everyone. It's a very packed room. Very excited to be here. Welcome to I think this is the first showcase of the year. Everything else has been open mic. So, hi, I'm so glad to see you all. Hello. So, who here will admit that they are a terrible gatekeeper? I see you guys are the only honest people in the room. That's crazy. But I am the world's worst gatekeeper. As soon as I find something that I really enjoy, I like to keep it close to my chest. Always having been lumped in with other people for an identity for my entire life, I kind of have that tendency. But who here really likes going up to New York? Who really likes New York as a state? Okay, cool, that makes sense. I love New York not because of its like lovely upstate geography or diversity of people or sprawling cities. I like it because of all the ridiculous shit that they pull. For example, they actually were trying to pass a law that requires all autistic people to have a special license. It's like a driver's license for you or me, except it's shaped like a dinosaur. I really wouldn't mind to be shaped like a velociraptor if I ever moved up there, but honestly, knowing me, they're more likely to assign me a diplodocus. If you know what that is, then you will also definitely need that ID. So you might want to start thinking about what shape you want it in. Yeah, I really do love New York. I recently went up there to visit some family. The difference between upstate and like downstate New York is like night and day. It's kind of like the difference between my hometown of Elkhart, Indiana, and Purdue campus. On one hand, I do love being perceived as a person with my own like thoughts and opinions and dreams as a woman, but I will admit, going back home, the food is just much better. And I know that sounds really bad. Hear me out. When you go to like dinner at a liberal family's place, it's like, well, here we have a vegan, cruelty-free quinoa salad with a macrobiotic spread, and for dessert, I want everyone to write down the top 3 reasons you think more women should be in Congress. And when you go to a conservative family's house, it's like, yeah, we got ribs, we got cornbread, we have enough cobbler to feed Guatemala, and I just shot the pig this morning, so you know it's fucking fresh. Yeah, I mean, when I go over to like my conservative family's place, I mean, I'm just way happier there. Because, you know, that's kind of what I was raised on. And if I'm going to go over to there, do you think I'm going to choose like the macrobiotic spread or the food that made Grandpa Hank's arteries so hard you could do a kickflip off of them? I think the choice is going to be pretty obvious. Yeah, I don't really want to keep everyone too long. I know that it's like kind of a somber kind of moment for all of us. I know it was just the anniversary of 9/11, terrible tragedy. I mean, you guys may have heard of it, I don't know. It's kind of like underground. Yeah, me and my friend who lives in Massachusetts, we kind of have like a really funny inside joke going where I'll just send her 9/11 memes and she will tell me to stop and say that she hates me. Yeah, that's really all I have. I don't want to keep you guys too long because we have some really great comics lined up. But next, I would like to welcome Jack, the best and brightest. Say hello to Jack.
Thank you. One more time for Madison. Any Swifties in here? Taylor Swift just endorsed Kamala this election. She said, "Kamala, take me somewhere we can be alone." Her words, not mine. Anyway, I already know exactly who I'm voting for. The album. I'm voting for Kamala to lose so we get the Heartbreak album. People were talking about a Heartbreak album after the Super Bowl loss. Imagine a Heartbreak album after losing a presidential race. And I got a blank space, baby. And I know exactly what I'm writing in it this November. I'm about to make all our Spotify playlists great again. I'm a big fan of plastic, big plastic guy. I drink all my water out of plastic bottle. Tastes delicious. The nerds in the back like, "Oh, what about the microplastics?" First of all, I just want to reiterate for everybody in the crowd, there's nothing wrong with microplastics, all right? 2 nanometers is huge. One man's micro is another man's mega. Plastic straw kills just as many sea turtles as a 2-liter bottle. It's not about the size of the plastic, it's about the taste of the waste. It's about the emission of the carcinogen, if you will. Fuck the EPA. I like my water tasting like BPAs. Tap water lowers your GPA. It's real. Got any alpha males in the audience? Alpha males, you know.
Don't look at me, man. Don't look at me.
I wasn't looking at you, Ben. Don't worry about it. Alpha males, you know. I want a trad wife. My wife better not be working no job. Fuck. That's a really bad impression. If she's working 9 to 5, she goes from a 9 to a 5. I'm not an alpha male. I know I'm not an alpha male because when a wasp flies by, I duck. You know how pussy you look when you dodge a wasp? You just be walking around, wasp by fly, bzzz, oh God! You just embarrass yourself in front of the whole block. Unfortunately, I'm not a high value man. I could be a great value man, maybe. Kirkland signature man on a good day. I think there's a lot of overreaction going on nowadays, you know, especially with mental illness. You know, you get nervous once, you got social anxiety. You're rude once, you're a narcissist. You abduct one toddler and you're a predator. I mean, come on. First of all, predators are doing it all wrong. Like not that I would, but if I was a holdup, right? Robert's telling me I gotta kidnap some kids. Pedophiles, you're doing it all wrong. You're driving around in a white van, in a goddamn white van. With these gas prices, what are you fucking abducting the whole classroom? You gonna take the HOV lane back to your dungeon? What do you need all these kids for? You wouldn't want a hybrid, an EV. Matter of fact, you don't even need a car. Here's what my strategy would be, all right? It's the $1 million strategy. Kidnap 20 kids in an hour. I pretend to be Mr. Beast. I get some red paint, red tape, make a big red circle in the middle of the playground. Go to the kids. Last person to leave the circle wins $1,000. Kids start coming inside. One smart ass is like, hey, you're not Mr. Beast. Well, I'll show you my Mr. Beast. Thank you guys so much. I've been Jack Peng.
Yeah, I wrote this set 5 minutes ago. First thing, how many of you guys came here for my BME posters? Great, all 8 of you did. Yeah, that's what I expected. I even convinced my advisor to put on the BME newsletter. Yeah, I gotta tell, oh wait, Piper's not here, never mind. I don't have to tell her that her posters have been gone to waste. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, who here's in therapy? Nice. Anyway, my first therapist started to cry when I tried to tell her my problems. And then my second therapist quit. Then my third therapist helped me compose my suicide letter. It was a Mad Lib. She gave me a word box and everything. I think I'm on the wrong page of my book, but whatever, I'll just try to remember off the top of my head. Have you guys heard the news lately where Ukraine is invading parts of Russia? They even have that famous, Ukraine has that famous photo of a guy in a Russian military base calling someone on the phone. I can just imagine what that phone call was like. Hey, Vladimir, is your Air Force running? Oh, you better go. What? It's not? Well, have a nice day then. Oh yeah, I also met with my psychiatrist today. He upped my dosage of Adderall. I don't think it's working because I think I'm still dyslexic. last year I went through a breakup. Not with a girl, but with a bunch of men. I don't worry, they're my brothers. Yeah, frat brothers. So, yeah, like, they kept trying to make excuses, saying, like, that they were all collectively pregnant. And then, like, I finally had to cave and then tell them that I just can't handle any more vanilla vodka functions. They all left, and once I came back, it turns out they all keyed my car. Looks as beige as these walls now. As I usually do when I bomb on stage, I start talking about politics. Yeah, so it's funny. Like, who here watched the debate?
Yes, sir.
Ben, what was that?
I was agreeing. I said I watched it.
You did it really awkwardly, though.
Who are you to decide, bro?
Whatever. Anyway, it's weird how politics has changed now, where it's an actual fact that Donald Trump said Kamala wants to trans all our immigrant prisoners. It's really getting lazy here with the Republicans. Mostly about the racism. It used to be subtle. We all know when at least they said the Haitian migrants were eating pets. I'm pretty sure they just got lazy after saying, oh, my dog ate my homework. My Haitian neighbor ate my cat. I ate your Haitian neighbor. Not really backing off on those scary rumors now. What else was I going to talk about? Like I said, I wrote this 5 minutes ago. Damn. Oh, right. My name's Mo, which is short for Muhammad, and, like, I'm from the Middle East. So, whenever people ask me, like, hey, does my dad own slaves? I say, no, that's factually untrue. He has someone else to do that for him. I'm pretty sure I wrote something funny in here. Oh yeah, I also use this as my mental health journal. So sometimes I can see, like, I got so anxious today that my heart almost killed me. I am buffing out right now. Jesus Christ. Fuck it. I can't think of anything else. I'm pretty sure I had better stuff prepared, but I lost it. So, thank you. You guys have been really generous.
It's okay. I too started just spouting random bullshit when back into a corner mouth. It happens to everyone. Everyone, welcome up Stella, best and brightest, with a head full of hair I'm incredibly jealous of. Stella, please. I know you're embarrassed to be here, but...
Alright, hello everybody. I was actually a little bit late to get to this event. I think I'm just someone who's kind of like late in general to stuff, especially developmentally. I did not know how to tie my shoes until the 3rd grade. I wore neon Crocs every day for a year in 5th grade. How I did not get bullied, I'm a little scared to find out. Let's see. Oh, I pissed my pants about every other week as a child until my parents told me that Santa would put me on the naughty list if I did it again. Now that I know Santa is not real, I might be making less trips to the bathroom and more trips to the laundry. I know, it's a joke, Santa's real, I get it. Yeah, and also don't ask me how babies are made. Like, I know, it's like inappropriate to like talk about in public. Anyway, I pulled this muscle like in my vagina recently, and it's really sucked. I decided to tell my mother this, ignoring the psychoanalytical implications of that event. She said, "Stella, are you having fun?" And I said, "Mom, I'm a pre-com major. What do you think?" She said, "No, Stella, are you having sex?" I was like, "Mom, I do stand-up comedy." What do you think? So how many of you guys have ever been, like by show of hands, how many of you guys have ever been mistaken for someone else? How about you right there? Yeah. Who have you been mistaken for?
I have no idea.
Someone just walked up to you and went, Cindy, it's really good to see you, and then walked away and you just decided to accept that and move on with your life? All right, I respect that. Well, you know, I was once mistaken for someone. So I was in a nursing home in the memory care ward, and there was this old lady being pushed by like a hospital or like nurse aide. She kind of wheeled up to me. She looked at me. She said, Chester, is that you? Okay, so not only am I being mistaken for a dude, I'm being mistaken for a dude named Chester. Chester! Chester! That is the name of a man who left the Confederate Army because it wasn't racist enough. Chester! I felt really bad for her. But you know, the thing with dementia patients is that, you know, experts recommend that, you know, when they're having these delusions and everything and they're forgetting stuff, you just go with the flow. You just go along with their delusions and you direct the topic to something else when you get a chance, which is also the strategy to use when talking with philosophy majors. Like, you know, no, dude, a philosophy major is a great investment in your future. Do I think you're gonna get a job? Of course I think you're gonna get a job. You think your parents might be proud of you? Maybe. But like, fucking philosophy majors, right? Like studying something that's like, pays so low and like it's so hard to get a good job in. Like, couldn't be me. I'm studying film production with a minor in history, right? Anyway. But anyway, she's looking at me, and I'm about to be like, yes, it is I, Chester, a man who apparently looks like a stereotype of a non-binary person in a Daily Wire movie. Yes. 'Tis I. But before I can say anything, she squints her eyes a little more. She leans forward. She says, "You've gotten so ugly." Okay, first of all, you're like 100 years old, you look like the Crypt Keeper, and you are being contained within a nursing home in Northeast Indiana. All right? My life isn't great, but I'm doing a lot better than you. And remember that detail, right? That she was in a wheelchair? You know, at the moment, I didn't think of this, but I was like, this woman watched me get roasted, and she didn't push the woman away. Like she didn't have AirPods in, like she knew that I was being fucking drawn and quartered by this old lady, and she just let it happen, and honestly, that's why I think the healthcare system should be abolished. You know, it's fucked, man. But she keeps looking at me, right? And she's just like, what happened? It's like, dude, I wake up every day, and it's like, well, fuck, I didn't die in my sleep. I guess it's time to fucking do this for another 8 hours. Like, you think I would know? Anyway, but she's like, you're so short, and you're dressed so weird. Which is kind of weird coming from someone in a hospital gown, but I digress. And so there's really not an ending to this story. Eventually I just kind of like gave her the finger guns and like walked away. But it's a great strategy, by the way, to lead conversations. You know, every time a police officer tries to pull me over, you know, it's worked a few times. No one look up my criminal record, please. Anyway. But I think really that's about it. That's all I got. But I have one more thing to complain about, so sit down. Who does laundry in the dorms? Raise your hands. All right, conversely, who has ever heard of the YDSA? Liberals. That is what they are. Point being, they have, you know, done so many promotions, and they've done so many events, and they're always trying to recruit people and everything. I will tell you what. If Purdue Housing makes me download one more fucking app to do laundry, I will become a socialist. I will do it, okay? I don't know how they're, actually now that I'm saying this out loud, I don't think those two are related. But the point being, fuck Purdue Housing. Even though they gave me a single, so Purdue Housing, if you're hearing this, please give me a single for Herrington. But otherwise, fuck them. Thank you all and have a great night.
We'll give it up one more time to Stella. Good job. Stella, you look like you're about to take me to a farm upstate with that outfit. I really like the bandana. It's very cute. I feel like I'm about to be executed. Anyways, up next, we have another very special little guy. Everyone welcome up Jackson.
Little guy. Sorry, I was just back there lowballing people in Facebook Marketplace. What a turnout. Give yourselves a hand. Wow, just all the sound, all the people, it's so overwhelming. Yeah, I turned 21 like a month ago, and my birthday is on August 11th, so, a month before 9/11. Sorry for not warning you guys, but, yeah. If you're anywhere near my age, if you're anywhere around my age, that means that this election is going to be the first one you're able to vote in, which is pretty crazy, right? Like, this is like a crazy-ass election. Like, this election... Calls me a little guy, and then she does this. She's back there looking at me, too. Anyway, this is a crazy-ass election, right? Like, this election being our first election is kind of like losing your virginity to a dominatrix. Like, usually you're supposed to start out with the vanilla shit and then work your way up, Like, but this is no Obama Romney. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the 6'3" Brazilian in full latex elections. It's even crazier because Donald Trump is running for president, right? And he's like technically a convicted felon now. Which means that he could be the first person ever to live in the White House on house arrest. No, seriously, like, if he wins, that has to be the best option, right? Because then the only issue is how are you going to find an ankle monitor big enough to fit around his cankles? Because one Donald Trump ankle is like the same width as two Joe Biden thighs. You know what I mean? Now we got Kamala Harris running for president. I mean, people, like, Republican people are, like, trying to disparage her, basically saying that, like, the only reason she got her career started is because she had, like, a relationship with her boss or whatever. Basically saying that she's where she is today because she gave this guy a blowjob, right? And I'm like, first of all, even if that is true, like, wouldn't that make you want to vote for her more? Like, what more do you want to see in a presidential candidate than someone with a can-do attitude? You know what I mean? Like, she's just proven she's willing to get on her hands and knees for the American people, you know what I mean? She's willing to put her hair back and do the work that needs to be done. You know what I mean? What's wrong with a blowjob, American foreign policy right now is pretty much just like, launching missiles, selling missiles to both sides, watching them launch them at each other. It's like, I think the blowjob could be a more effective diplomatic solution. I mean, let me put it this way. How many missiles would it take to defeat China, right? Probably like millions and hundreds of thousands of lives lost on both sides, right? It would be a tragedy. How many blowjobs would it take to defeat China? My guess is like 5. What I mean is, like, there's probably like 5 generals who are willing to betray their country in China, for some like presidential American sloppy. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, China's great, it's a beautiful country, but nobody does sloppy like us. Like, come on, bro. But yeah, those are all the reasons why I think it's time for a woman president, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, the only place for me, at least, where Trump is clearly beating Kamala is in the cake department. I mean, like, Kamala's got some booty, but Trump, like, you ever see some ass where it's like, you're like, goddamn, like, it's attractive to you, but you're like, deep down, you're not man enough to handle all that ass. Like, that's Trump. You know what I mean? Like, if Kamala wants my vote, she's gonna have to get a BBL at this point. Does anybody raise your hand if you don't know it? It's okay. It's okay if you don't know. Okay. What else? Yeah, no, you guys are probably wondering, like, how do you come up with all the, how do you know, where do you get all these crazy ideas from? You know, like, your politics are weird. And let me tell you, I was politically radicalized in the 2nd grade when I got banned from Mindflex for fly hacking, which is a lie. I was not fly hacking. I'm still perma-banned from Mindflex. But ever since that day, I've started to realize, you know, you can't trust authority blindly, right? Because they're just going to ban you. They're just going to kick you off your favorite server that you're on every single day. And yeah, so, you know, one other thing I noticed the government's doing recently is that they're trying to ban Zins, my favorite product. They're trying to ban my favorite product, okay? Now, listen, their justification for doing this is that Zin markets to children, okay? Which is bullshit. I don't know whether they're doing it or not, but I think nicotine should only be marketed to children. I mean, just imagine how much more productive the average 1st grade classroom would be. You know, we give kids stickers as a reward for good work. I think we should go one step further and give them Nicorette pouches. Just imagine, little Timmy's walking out the door. It's like, teacher comes up to him. He's like, here you go, little Timmy. There's something for you to relax. After a long day of hard study, okay? If we did that, these kids would be learning freaking calculus by the end of 3rd grade. I'll tell you that. Just saying what everyone's thinking. But yeah, no, I think the reason why Zins and nicotine is getting so popular is because it's like a study drug. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mild, it's no Adderall, right? Like, Adderall will get you through your engineering homework. Zins might get you through your, you know, business homework. You know what I mean? I mean, what is business homework anyway? Like, what do you guys even do? Like, NFT coloring books? What do you business students even doing over there? You know what I mean? But Adderall is really crazy. Like, if you're on Adderall, you don't even need ChatGPT. Like, you become ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody tries to talk to you, you're studying on Adderall, you're like, I'm sorry, this conversation violates my content policy. I need to get back to work. You know what I mean? That was funny. Yeah, but ChatGPT is pretty crazy. Like, I'm kind of scared of AI a little bit. You know? Like, every time I use AI, I always put please and thank you in my prompts, because you just never know. You know, like, talking to ChatGPT is kind of like talking to the quiet kid in the corner of the classroom. Like, you gotta make sure you're on their good side, just in case they ever try anything. You know what I mean? How much more time do I got? 2 minutes? I got 2 minutes? Dude, I'll do a whole new bit that I never did before. Watch this. Okay. This one's funny to me, but I'm really worried about how it's going to go over, so... but it doesn't violate the policy. You know, she brings us back there before every show. It's like, don't say anything mean, basically. So, what is it? Yeah, you guys know what phantom limb syndrome is?
Yeah.
You do? So, for those of you who, you know, for the BBL thing and for this, who are pretending like they know what I'm talking about because they're too, you know, scared to raise their hand, phantom limb syndrome is when an amputee gets the limb cut off and they can still feel sensations in that limb as if it was there. And so my question is, you know, I care about science, I'm always trying to learn new facts, right? My question, is that funny to you? My passion is science. And with that being said, my question is, when someone transitions from male to female, do they get phantom limb syndrome for their dick? Is that a fair? I think that's a fair question. Because if so, like, that's kind of a superpower if you think about it. Like, you could be standing behind someone in line for Chick-fil-A and they don't know, for you it feels like you're inside of them. Okay, so it is, okay, that's a good one. We're keeping that one. Yeah. That's so I'm transitioning tonight. Let me think. Just let me know when it's like, yeah. One thing, men and women always have disagreements. We don't understand each other. You know, I don't understand women. Women don't understand men. One thing I'd like to clear up with the ladies is that the way you feel about boners is the way we feel about talking. Like sometimes you want it, but when you don't, it's a real fucking nuisance. Like, if any women here are in a relationship, just imagine you're in bed with your man, right? And it's the middle of the night, you're just trying to sleep, and he keeps like rubbing up against you, trying to get frisky with you, and you're like, can you please leave me the fuck alone, you animal? That's how we feel when we're trying to sleep and you keep fucking talking. That's the first time I did that one too. All right, we're done.
Everyone give it up one more time for Jackson. I like splash bang him from the side of the stage to get him to shut up sometimes. But next up, I would like to summon him from the back. Doug, it is your time to shine. What?
No one ever
What? You're on the
leaves.
lineup.
No, I told you I was going after Ben. Kelsey approved it.
Oh, are you? For real? I'm sorry. I don't pay attention. Ben, you can go first.
I can go.
Yeah, good luck, Ben.
Good luck, Ben. Come on up here. I summon you.
Hey guys.
Hi, Ben. Very neat.
Is this working? Oh, there we go. Right there.
Jack, your fucking jokes where you swang it around like a fucking dick broke this video.
There we go. So, we got any insomniacs in the crowd? So Mo and one other guy in the back, and I think you raised your hand. Guy in the back. You know that insomnia is hereditary. And for that reason, I don't think you should reproduce. It sucks. I have insomnia. We shouldn't reproduce. Not with like each other, that'd be weird. I mean like, in generalities, neither of us should have children. That would suck. Anyway, a lot of misinformation recently. I see it all the time, all day, like that guy outside of Weatherill with the moon landing being fake. My conspiracy is that he doesn't get any bitches. My proof, purely vibes. I just gotta sense it. And then there are all these people, they're like, oh, the 9/11 incident was an inside job. Now tell me, have you ever seen an airplane inside? I didn't think so. It was an outside job. I thought that joke would bomb. What the fuck? But it's really worrying because now we even have like former presidents of the United States, like Donald Trump, spouting just the most heinous, awful misinformation, just really terrible stuff. You guys watched the debate, I assume. And for anyone that didn't, I'll give you a recap. He was up on stage, and well, not on stage, he did the podiums, and they were talking about all sorts of policies, I'll just quote him for you. He said, Benjamin Herrington likes sucking penis. He likes boys. I don't, that's fake news, guys, not true. Completely fake. You can't trust him, dude. You can't trust that guy. He's got morals of an alley cat, that's what Joe said. My guy, my president, our president. Yeah, but that really pissed me off when he said that in front of 100 million people, calling me gay. What the fuck? That's messed up. I don't kiss boys. I don't do that. Like, I kiss girls. In middle school, I kissed a girl once. Like, she looked like a dude, but like, she has like the parts. Like, no. I hate this thing. I hate this. This is too distracting for me. It's like baby sensory toy. Yeah, but that really pissed me off, him calling me gay. I really wish that Thomas Crooks guy spent a bit more time in the rifle range. I'm kidding, guys. Political violence is never okay. It's never okay. But if he did, Trump wouldn't have called me gay, I'm just saying. It is funny that the Crooks guy was named that, Thomas Crooks, like he was destined to be a crook from his last name. And it's like, there's like a pattern there I've noticed. Like I have a friend, his name is Garrett Baker. He likes baking. Makes sense, right? My roommate's name is Simon Benfucker. I usually don't feel safe around him.
And sometimes I worry that he's been listening to Trump's big lie. I'm not into him. And he told me, like, I have nothing to worry about because his name, it doesn't mean that. It's like Norwegian, you know, it's just transliterated and it makes, you know, poor sense in English. But I don't believe him when he tells me it's Norwegian because he's from Mexico. Something's off there. Something just a little bit off. I'm not sure. Hopefully my poor smell scares him away. I'm an awful smelling person because I go to Walmart and they sell me awful shampoos to make me smell like a tree. They say, here, smell like charcoal or cedar wood. I don't want to smell like a fucking tree. Why don't you make me smell like something sexy? Like a werewolf. You see, women love werewolves. They read about it. There's this thing called the Omegaverse. They know. You know. I saw it. Yeah. They like reading about gay werewolves. They're just like, yeah, that's what I want to read about. You got your alpha male, who's like top, and the omega male, who's the bottom. They get pregnant because they're, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't have a joke about it, it's just really weird. The dude gets pregnant, yeah, in the butt. A friend of mine sent me a quiz, like to see what I would be in the Omegaverse. That's how I found out what it was, this genre of fan fiction. And I took it. I thought I'd be like this cool loner alpha. Yeah, I don't need. It called me a wannabe, and it told me I was an Omega. Am I like putting out those pheromones? Like, do I have those pheromones? Any alphas in the audience? Like, I'm getting a kind of. Jack is. I'm an Omega. Okay, fuck. This is all part of Trump's big lie. I don't appreciate this narrative. Actually, it's not true, guys. It's not true. That was really funny, wasn't it? I'm gonna move on from that because I don't want to talk about any of the weirder stuff like nodding. If you know what that is, I'm sorry. It's like. I'm not going to talk about it. My grandfather is getting remarried because my grandmother bit the dust. She died. He's remarrying to...
That's not funny. Why are you laughing at that part?
Bro, my grandmother died. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, but he's remarrying to a Colombian woman. And... You know, I'm kind of happy about it because my family's been needing that diversity hire for a while. We're pretty white. She has this like catchphrase. She always says, "No hablo inglés," and my grandfather says, "Oh, I love you too, honey." It's really sweet. It's really sweet. You love it. You love to see an old guy get back in the saddle. And stuff. I think they love each other. I think it'll go great. Yeah, personally. Last story. When I was a young boy, I liked going out biking late at night. It's like during COVID, right? I was bored all the time, so at like 2 in the morning, I'd go on bike rides out in the countryside. I once told a friend of mine I was going out on a midnight ride. He thought I was getting pegged. It is possible that is the guy who began the big lie. That is my theory, at least. But instead of getting pegged, I instead had a run-in with a police officer. He drove along and he said, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing out here?" And I had like zero response. I was like 15, scared. It's like, "You need to go home." And I'm like, I don't want to go home though. And he began rolling down the back window, and there, chained to the seat, ex-Subway spokesperson turned child predator, Jared Fogle. I looked him in the eyes, and it was clear to me that he'd not eaten fresh in many moons. He licked his chops. I began biking home, and this is a true story, by the way. This actually happened, yeah. I kind of wondered to myself, because the police officer followed me all 3 miles home in his car. He didn't like give me a ride, which I wouldn't have like accepted it because the pedophile dude. So I had to bike home with this police officer following me the entire way. And I was like, man, this sucks. My dad is gonna be so mad. My mom, she's gonna take away my Xbox, and that's gonna suck. Jared Fogel's gonna know my home address. Fuck. I kind of wondered to myself what must have been going on, like in the police car. It's like he gets a call from dispatch. This is dispatch. We got an armed robbery near your location. Can you respond? Over. Negative. This is pedo unit. I'm busy following a child home. When I got home, I was so excited to go inside and escape the nightmare. And I heard from the cop car scratching, clawing at the window from the hungry pedophile, the kid diddler. And then he began howling at the moon. You don't think that he was a gay werewolf, do you? That's all I got, thank you.
My sensory tool. I gotta have this over here. Ruining the feng shui, Ben.
Man, fuck you.
Guys, we have a super special guest today. He's really near and dear to your heart, Ben. I would like to introduce to the stage Simon Benfucker.
Good to see you, Rumi. I wanted to come after Ben because that's how we usually do it. I apologize for the mistake, Madison. When it came to the list, I wanted to be on top. So that was an issue. It's been my family heritage for years, Each of us find our Ben, and we go off and we do our thing. Now, I wasn't going to make it him out of respect because he's not gay. But then Donald Trump came on the news and he's so gay. I'm disappointed I have to be here tonight. I was going to go watch the Daily Wire's I'm Not Racist, which is premiering tonight, right? But it's okay because I got Stella here anyway. She's part of the crowd. There's a small audience tonight. Let's just talk a bit. My name's actually Doug Graves. I've been on a personal journey for a while. I've been looking for the most powerful word in the English language. And I was curious if any of you guys had any suggestions, any ideas? Yes, Mo.
Powerful. Detonate?
It's a good word. It's a powerful word. It's usually the last word. It's a word that it's underrated in the powerness because everyone hears it and then they die. Speaking of which, 9/11 was an inside job.
Oh?
And I know that because it was an outside job for a while. And as long as the plane was outside, things were fine. No, anyone else have any ideas for the most powerful word? Okay, I'll share mine. I think the most powerful word is the word allegedly. Because you can put anything at the front of a sentence and it's fine as long as you put the word allegedly at the end of it. No one's going to hold you responsible. Which is great because Taylor Swift personally murdered Jeffrey Epstein. Allegedly. Before the show, my roommate, Ben, he came and he jizzed in my water. Allegedly.
That's not allegedly.
Fuck, now I have AIDS. I think that the Dominion voting machines, they swapped the count between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Allegedly, boom, I just saved myself $850 million. This is my conspiracy theory show, for those of you who hadn't noticed. There's a lot of conspiracy theories I don't believe in. We'll get to them in a minute. Let's start with the ones I do. I believe that drag queens are responsible for the death of Elizabeth II. I think they just said, slay queen until God listened. I also think they're responsible for the death of Freddie Mercury, but for different reasons. Ben knows what I'm talking about. But I think that doctors are all frauds. Because first off, a Bachelor of Science is a bunch of BS. Second of all, they always ask me these stupid-ass questions. They ask me, hey, Doug, can you touch your toes? And I'm like, you're the doctor. Why don't you do it? It's like, I don't need to touch my toes. I've got Ben. But...
This guy stinks.
They asked me, you made me take a shower before coming here. You said they didn't let me your scent on me. Anyway, the doctors. They're like, how about you read the chart? You're right next to it. I had one guy, he told me to strip down my underwear and stand on a scale. That guy wasn't even a doctor. And they asked me the dumbest questions. They're like, in the last 12 months, have you been sexually active? And I'm like, look at me. No. It's like, no one wants to fuck what would happen if the default me became a lesbian. Right? Did they ask you that question, Ben?
What?
Are you... Did they ask you when you go to the doctor? They're like, have you been sexually active? Or do they just look at you and go?
I hope not.
See, other conspiracy theories. This is strange. Does anyone... You know those... Everyone thinks that someone's running the country. Like, the Jews are running the country or Hollywood's running the country. I've got one that's really, really out there. I think that Joe Biden is running the country. It doesn't make any sense, but I just have this feeling. Let's get to some real conspiracy theories. You guys know about the QAnon conspiracy theory, right? Woo! Does anyone...
He's real!
Wow, stuff. Well, let's take a poll. Other than Stella, who's a true believer, does anyone here know what the conspiracy theory, the QAnon theory people actually believe? Show of hands. Okay, everyone look around the room. Stay away from these people. They're bad people. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to enlighten you a little bit. So it's the idea that, for years, Democrats have been smuggling children by the hundreds of thousands, slitting their throats, and drinking their blood to grant them eternal life. That's what Ben does in his free time. But 20 million Americans believe this. Statistically, someone in the room believes it. And it's a crazy thing for anyone to ever try to believe. And, well, just shows you what kind of respect we have for people in this country. I don't have a joke for that. It's just sad to me. I got a drug test the other day. I had to get a job because I'm out of money. I need to hire my gay prostitutes, and it's expensive. So I had to go get a job, and I went to get a drug test. I think a drug test is kind of ridiculous for me because, like, no one's ever offered me drugs. But the guy behind me, he needed several drug tests, right? I'm pretty sure he was on heroin then. He looked like a cross between Post Malone and Gollum. I don't know if having the word cocaine written across your cheek is considered an admission of guilt in this country, but it probably should be. He's walking like he's a maybe 10% wacky wavy inflatable tube guy. He's just kind of... He's stumbling in behind me. I'm really freaked out by the guy. He is scaring me. So I put on my AirPods, and I try to stand in the corner of the waiting room and look tough. But the AirPods just played the song that was playing most recently, so I'm there listening to Meghan Trainor's Better When I'm Dancing. I'm just sitting there, trying not to get raped by freaking meth head Dobby over there. Just, I'm better when I'm dancing. I bet you. And you might think he's not that scary. You would be profoundly corrected by the woman who opened the door from, like, the testing agency. Sees him and goes, ah! She used to regain her composure, look professional. As she looks down at her clipboard, she looks at him, she looks at her clipboard, and she looks at him, and she goes, Christian Kennedy? Which, no, is not his name. Because the Christians don't do drugs, and the Kennedys hide it better. But sure enough, he says, yeah, that's me. And he follows her out back. I wish I could, he asked, so, like, if my driver's license was taken, is that going to be... But I can't hear the rest of the conversation because I'm stuck with in the back of my head as I'm, like, happy as the threat has left the room. So, soon it's my turn to get called back. I get called back by a really hip-looking guy. He looks kind of... No. He looks kind of like you. He looked kind of like you. Jacob, stand up, turn around. Look how hip this guy looks. He's beautiful. And, not my taste. I'm more for the Ben kind of body type. But
I'm not gonna fuck you.
Anyway, he comes in. He's like, Doug Smith, and I follow him back. And he asks, what's your confirmation number? I want to be polite, so I take the AirPods out of my pocket. And because of the way the iPhones work with this shit, it starts blasting Better When I'm Dancing to the entire testing facility. As I'm, like, trying to shut it down on my phone, and I finally get it quiet down, and I look at the testing guy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Megan Trainor, as if that's an explanation. He's like, so what's your confirmation number? I'm like, 543, he starts typing it in. 5, 4, you listen to Megan Trainor! You're such a nerd! I'm like, wow, what professionalism from the people at CBS. He's like, He's like, let me ask, and then he named a rapper that I'd never heard of. I'm not even going to try to do the name, but he named a rapper. He's like, do you listen to him? And I'm like, no. He's like, do you listen to Taylor Swift? I was like, I love Taylor Swift. He's laughing. He's like, you like Megan Trainor and Taylor Swift. He spends the entire test doing this. He's so happy. He doesn't even make me clear out my pockets, which is good because I was on drugs anyway. But so I leave. He's just laughing the whole time. The whole CBS now knows I listen to Taylor Swift and Megan Trainor, and I'm just so embarrassed. I'm turning red, and I'm getting ready to leave the room, right? And I open the door, and I go, because Christian Kennedy is standing. He's not as intimidating when you call him Christian. Meth Head Dobby is standing right there in front of him. And he's like, I've been waiting for you. I've never heard him. He's like, I have something I want to say to you. I said, what do you want to say to me? He said, don't let the haters get you. I like Taylor Swift too. How much time do I have? A minute. I don't think I can say anything funny in a minute. He is gay.
Fuck you guys.
You know, they say sex work is real work, but I don't think that's true because it's not on Ben's resume. Oh, also, do you have a question?
I think I found the most powerful word in the English language.
What is it?
Yet. He's not gay. Yet.
That? I agree that's a powerful word. Oh, also, Ben, it's the last 7 times we've done a show together, I've made an insinuation that
I've noticed.
you were in January 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a streak, it's gone for 9 months, so long enough for you as an Omega to, produce a child, but for those of you who don't know, Ben was there on Jan 6th.
I am flabbergasted.
Y'all have a great night.
You didn't realize you had a target spray painted on your back, Ben? Holy shit. Anyways, last up, we would like to welcome our beloved president, Kelsey Lavin.
Whew. I just climbed Mount Everest in Roblox back there. I'm very tired. Okay, wow. People needed me. I'm a leader in Mount Everest on Roblox. Anyway, I hate porn. I think porn is really gross. Who here likes porn? You're disgusting. You're disgusting. I like my relationships real. I like it fan fiction. I love reading fan fiction. You know what I love about fan fiction is that it unites us. I actually was famous online for a bit because I wrote fan fiction. I had 1,000 followers on Tumblr. I was the coolest 13-year-old ever. But let me tell you my beef with fan fiction. Let me tell you what I really hate. Is you'll be reading like a normal piece of literature work, just normal, 2 people fucking, 2 people kissing, and then all of a sudden one of them is a dragon. And you don't know how you got there. I was reading this piece of fan fiction the other day, and that is exactly what happened. There were 2 people fornicating. And all of a sudden, the guy, finished and became a dragon and breathed the air in the girl's face, like fire. This was a fan fiction about a video game where you're in the mafia. I don't really know how we got from we're dealing drugs to I am suddenly a fire-breathing dragon when I finish. But I would like to know how we got there. Speaking of fan fiction, when you read a lot of fan fiction, which I have, it really fucks up your brain. Whenever I meet a guy now and I'm in a relationship and they start treating me like shit, I go, Harry Styles would never do this to me. He would never. I also hate how in fan fiction when they break the 4th wall. I was reading this one fan fiction the other day, and they're describing this dude's house, this dude's house from the video game, and they said in the line, they were like, he had a mirror on the wall, which I know is not canon in the video game, but that's just what I'm writing for this story. Do you know how crazy that is to say that in the middle of a porn scene? Imagine you're watching your favorite porno on fucking Pornhub, and they turn and they go, listen, we know it's not realistic that 2 siblings would fuck, but here we are. Trying to think of jokes. What jokes was I going to tell? Anyone here on birth control? Know somebody on birth control? Yeah, hell yeah. Praise be He. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, I was on the pill for a very long time, and I decided I needed to change because, you know, when you first start taking the pill, you're very responsible about it. You know, you're like, it's 5 p.m. on Thursday, I need to take it right now. And then you wake up 6 months later, and you're like, it's Saturday night, I haven't taken my pill in 7 days, so you lay them all out, crush them up, and I think it gets to the uterus the fastest that way. But then I started dating my boyfriend, and, you know, things got serious, and I said I need to be a responsible one. I am going to go, and I'm going to get a more effective form of birth control. So I went and got an IUD. Let me tell you, craziest experience of my life. The gynecologist comes in, and she goes, hey, just want to let you know there's going to be 4 people in the room. It's going to be me, a nurse in training, and an intern that we have. And they all walk in, and my cooter is out. All these people are seeing my cooter, because they have to. They're doing an insertion. Like, they're not just going to, like, I don't know, put it through your stomach. Like, kids think babies are made, but, you know, they actually got to reach up in there. And so these people walk in, I'm spread eagle, and I say, wow, isn't this crazy that I've doubled the amount of people that have seen my vagina in 2 minutes? They did not laugh, but the intern did high-five me, so I will consider that one a little bit of a win. That was really epic. Where was I going from here? Oh yeah, Halloween is coming up. You guys excited for Halloween? Yeah? Spooky. Speaking of Halloween, I don't know if you guys like haunted houses or not, but there's this really epic one in West Lafayette. And I'm going to tell you guys about my experience when I went last year, because I'm definitely going to go again this year. So I'm in line for this haunted house, and they start sending out these like scare actors to like get you in the scary, spooky mood. And they send out the first one, and it's a child. Not even joking, probably 4 years old. He probably doesn't even know his times tables yet. He comes out, and he comes up to me, and he's like, boo. And I was like, I am more afraid by the aspect of how many child labor laws are being broken right now. It is midnight on Friday. Where is your mother? And then kind of the most shocking aspect of the haunted house happened, which is another scare actor came out, and it was just a drag queen. It wasn't a scary drag queen. It wasn't like RuPaul with spiders. It was like a man in a wig, and you're like, did they just hire a drag queen to be funny? The answer was no. The answer was that he was there to scare the men. I'm not even joking you. There was a man sitting next to me in line. He turns, he sees the drag queen, he goes, don't let him see me. Like, do you guys know each other from somewhere? Like the RuPaul's Drag Race reunion? Like, why are you afraid? I have never seen so many men have a heart attack in one night as I did when a drag queen came out at a freaking, haunted house. And then I was afraid because I'm a liberal. And I was like, am I at a Republican haunted house? Am I about to walk in? First room, vaccines. They're putting the chip in you. Second room, the wall. Immigrants are climbing. Third room, it's this like mixed racial woman, and she's going, we did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. You think you fell out of a coconut tree? No. Next room is just like a women's healthcare clinic. Somebody's there to get an abortion. No, we can have not that be. That was the scariest room of them all, of course. How much time do I got? 2? I don't fucking know. Let me dig in my depths here. Oh, we got any people that are on antidepressants? I know somebody talked about that earlier. We got any antidepressants here? Yeah. I'm on the Zoloft. Dude, I was really afraid when I got put on the Zoloft because they tell you, they're like, it's going to kill your sex drive. You're not going to want to have sex anymore. So I was afraid. But let me tell you, and no shame in this, I'm sure either you or someone you know, or maybe somebody you're sleeping with right now has had trouble in the bedroom. Maybe you couldn't get it up, maybe you couldn't last, maybe you couldn't finish. I have a secret for you. Listen closely. Take a fucking Zoloft, okay? I am like a 13-year-old boy who just discovered what jerking off is, okay? It is the craziest experience of my life. I live in Chicago, that's where I'm from. I went home very recently, and if you don't know Chicago, there's a lot of potholes, okay? I'm driving down the road, I hit a pothole, ooh! I have to pull over. There is something in my pants, and I have to pull over. Maybe I'll bring up some fan fiction, go on fanfiction.net, you know, help me finish. Maybe I'll even pull out the dragon if I need to. All right, thank you guys so much. You've been a great crowd. We really appreciate you coming.
Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. We are the Purdue Stand-Up Comedy Club. You can follow us at Instagram at Purdue Suck, S-U-C-C, best acronym this side of campus. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight, and get home safe.